Hello, everyone. Today is March the 3rd.
I'm Bruce Turner in Lynchburg, Virginia.
I'm Jeff Zayas in Napa, California.
I'm George Dosher in Jacksonville, Florida.
And I'm Robert Taylor in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Duke Carrico, and tonight it's all about Mobile World Congress. Hey, what does the panel think of the new devices from Samsung and HTC? Also, the surprise hit, the Huawei Smartwatch. Hey, gang, this and so much more. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hey, how's everything going, man?
Slow.
Yeah?
Slow.
George, you working hard, man?
It's killing me, man.
It's lovely here in Napa, man. Come visit Napa, California.
Yeah, you just rub it in a little more. They're calling for 11 degrees and snow and ice here tomorrow night, man.
You know, Saturday is going to be 74.
Hey, Jeff, if I fly out there, will you put me up for about 5 months?
You know, you're good for at least 4.5. If you leave the thong at home, we'll put you up for the 5 months.
Get it? I'm not coming.
Does that include wine?
He's whining already.
But the problem is if he stays there for 5 months, he'll be there for the whole summer. He'll be back in time for fall and winter again. You know, I don't get it.
Then I'll just head to Louisiana and stay with Robert.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
You can come on down. We got plenty of rain.
Was it like wine and po' boys here today in Android Jam?
Why not?
Beignets.
Beignets.
Yes.
Hey, guys, we got a lot to talk about, so let's get to it. Mobile World Congress, guys. First of all, let's just talk about the overall vibe before we get into the devices. Robert, what's your take on Mobile World Congress 2015? A little bored with it?
Little bored. There were a couple of highlights. Bruce turned me on to the M9 presentation, which was kind of nice. It's a nice-looking phone. There were a few things along the way, but nothing, as we had said, nothing was really going to be staggeringly impressive, you know, along the way.
So we got 1 day left. So Jeff, you think with 1 day left we're going to see anything exciting, or do you think all the big announcements have already come and gone?
Oh, I think the big announcements are come and gone, and I kind of agree with Robert, and but I think a lot of there's been like maybe a little reboot on some people, you know, on the look of their phone in terms of the quality and the, you know, more of a polished feel to the phones. I think that might be something that we can probably, you know, we'll get into a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what's the truth. Since you guys have kind of took us there, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the new HTC. Hey, Bruce, you watched the keynote, and okay, so you know we had the one M7, the one M8, and now we've got the one M9. What do you think of it, man?
I think it's a nice looking device. In fact, if I were in the market for purchasing a new smartphone and more of the high-end design, I might very well choose that particular phone. One of the things I like the most that they did about it is they finally changed up their camera from doing that ultra lens type thing they were doing. They put sure enough a straight 20 meg or 20 meg camera on the back and everything, and so it looks really nice. And the HTC Sense, there were a number of things that it could do, and their camera software that were things that I haven't seen in other places. So it's a nice looking phone. So I would certainly it would be one of my choices.
Okay, I'll tell you this, you know, George, a lot of people have said that it looks a whole lot like the old device. This is not necessarily a bad thing, is it?
No, actually, I actually kind of like the look of the device. It actually looks newer. I mean, the front of it has the same kind of look as the old device, but the brushed gunmetal or, you know, bronze or whatever the heck colors they have there, it looks like gunmetal, silver, and black, I guess. And I think I saw a bronze one too.
Yeah, they have a gold.
They're
one.
trying to make them look like super high-end devices, which they technically are, and I'm sure the AT&T and all the others are going to charge a ton of money for them. So.
Yeah, that's one thing. Has anybody heard the price of this or the new Samsung S6? Has anyone heard a price quoted?
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, the HTC is going to sell for $646 unsubsidized at Best Buy. That's the only price that I've seen.
$646.
That's a heck of a lot of money for.
$646 unsubsidized. Just unlocked.
Yeah. Yeah.
That seems about right for what it is. For a premium looking phone with what it has. And I think I watched that video on The Verge with the product manager, and I guess they actually they doubled the amount of time it takes to do the finish on the back, because they wanted to kind of keep that look looking forward, but yet tweak it enough so it feels good in the hand and rounded and very smooth. So yeah, I think they're like turning it into a brand phone. This is our brand.
Well, they're trying to hit a nice high-end phone, but what do you do with most of your phones, Jeff? You buy cases for them, and you never see the back anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, why are they spending so much time making it look freaking fancy when I'm going to throw it in it?
The outside wasn't the only thing. They're trying to step up their game a little bit, and this is kind of the direction that we're going. Both HTC and Samsung took shots at Apple regarding the camera, and this phone now has raw image capability and also does 4K video recording. But even with that, one of the reviewers from The Verge said that the camera's performance was still lackluster, wasn't enough to write home about, which is kind of sad. I would have expected them to do more, but they say more megapixels doesn't mean better images, even though it's a 20 meg camera. But they're trying. They're trying to move in that direction. Just didn't quite live up to the hype, is the words that they used.
Yeah, I wonder if it's software more than the optics of it, because it's it could be software tweaks could, I think, but they're talking about with the noise level that was in the photos or whatever. Maybe there's some software tweaks to make that go quicker or sharper or whatever. But hey, listen, nice looking phone, like everyone says.
It's one of the better looking phones out there, and like I say, a lot of people have knocked it because they can't tell it apart from last year's model. But last year's model was still one of the better looking Android phones on the market. And let's face it, man, Apple's hardly changed the look of the iPhone over the last 8 years. Okay, I mean, they have changed the look of it. Don't get me wrong, but normally, I don't know about you guys, but normally when somebody's holding one, I know automatically it's an iPhone. I mean, and listen, Samsung really hasn't changed the look of their phones either until now. So let's talk about the Samsung guys. What do you guys think? Listen, man, I think that Samsung's serious about what their phones look like all of a sudden. This thing, it's got the, it's metal, it's glass. I don't know. I don't think Joe Consumer's going to care that it's got their processor in it versus a Qualcomm 810. I mean, I really don't think that matters to most people. I would really like to see it performance-wise. I'm sure there'll be some benchmarks out there soon. But, they did introduce, no surprise, I mean, these things had leaked pretty well ahead of Mobile World Congress. We knew we were going to get this edge with the rounded edges on both sides on the 6. I guess my first question is going to go to you, Bruce. Do you think that Samsung trying to do this with 2 different models, not one, but 2 models here, these flagship devices, do you think that hurts them or does it help them because they are at different price points?
Right, and I think that's the key. I think the key is the price point. So you go with the flat model and you get it a little bit cheaper, or you can go with the other model. I mean, the things that I've been hearing about people that have looked at the Edge model they're actually more positive about it than they were about the Edge that they put on the Note 4. I think the biggest thing that Samsung impressed me with in their presentation were 2 things. One is the fast charge time. I mean, that is huge. If you're going to make a phone where you can't replace the battery in it, and that's always been important to me, then that fast charge is really important. The other thing is they really focused hard on their camera. I mean, contrasting it, going head to head with the iPhone in low light situations, both video and still photography, and it was pretty impressive what they showed.
Hey George, the S5 was kind of a disappointment sales wise. Is the S6 a savings grace for Samsung?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something I was just thinking about when Bruce was talking here is when I'm out and about and doing stuff, I want to say about more than half the phones I see out there are Samsung. I mean, so I'm going to tell you, I don't think they really need that much of a savings grace. So they have a good product out there. They have what people need and what people are looking for. I'm just hoping that HTC, their previous phone, can actually try to catch up to Samsung's fame. But I don't think Samsung really needed to do much this year. They're always going to have some product out there out of multiple phones that somebody's going to end up buying. So
let's put this in perspective. I put this in the sheet. I didn't know if we could get to it tonight or not, but some numbers were just released. Digital Trends reported that right now Android claims 81.5% of the global market. iOS actually lost some market share globally to 14.8%. But get this, you were talking about the Samsung, half of them being Samsung. You are exactly right. Half of those Android phones have a Samsung label on them. Okay, that's what a force Samsung is with Android. So, I mean, we can talk about the LG flagship, the HTC flagship, but the truth is, Samsung is the Android flagship phone.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, they haven't changed design too much. A lot of their phones almost have a similar thing for the last 4 or 5 years, but they have been trying to get that nice little bevel in this next model coming up, and it kind of almost looks like the HTC the way it's beveling over in the back too. So I don't know if maybe they're one's copying the other or something, but I don't know. I mean, Samsung's always been a decent phone. It's been a good phone. You're gonna everywhere you go, you're gonna see at least somebody in a crowd. You're gonna see, I don't know, half that crowd's got Samsung phones.
Yeah.
Maybe 10% has Apple iPhones, and the rest has a mixture of whatever else.
I like the fact that they kept, just like the Alpha does, this the physical home button. I like that a lot. I also liked the colors. I tell you, that wanted the green metal back. My favorite color is green, man. That was one sweet looking phone there. But like was said earlier, you know, George said, you know, we put cases on these things, and for good reason.
You know, so, Samsung's aware of that. Did you guys see the acrylic case that they debuted? So it'll still show off the look of the phone.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, this thing's got a 2550 milliamp hour battery in it. This year you can get it in 32, 64, and 128 gigabyte options. I would like to see pricing on that. I'm figuring that it's $100 bump every time you go. You double that, but we'll see. I hope I'm wrong.
But no SD card.
Yeah,
right.
And I was just, you know, Bruce mentioned that, you know, you can't remove the battery now. Do you think that hurts them, Jeff? That there's no removable SD card?
I think so. You know, it doesn't seem to be that big of a, you know, to cram into the phone. You know, to put that in there additionally. And since you can't take the since you can't take the battery out, there's no way to access it to get into possibly putting an SD card in there. But you know, I personally like the idea of an SD card, and I always have, just in case you want to upgrade your phone and put, you know, and what, you can get 200 gigs now on an micro SD card. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, we just saw that. I don't know. You know, Robert, I kind of think that maybe the removable SD card is something that's kind of come and gone. It's kind of like is it necessary to have a DVD drive on your laptop computer anymore? The reason why I say this is, anything that is Android that requires a widget is not going to run on a micro SD card. And there's a lot of apps, the alarm, so forth, will not work because it's the Android, the OS just doesn't support it at an external location. Okay?
Right.
And, listen, man, 128 gigs. Hey, guys, I got 32 on this Nexus 5, and I've yet to run out of space. Got a lot of apps on it.
Well, maybe you've got a lot of apps, but do you have a lot of music? Do you have a lot of photos? This is where...
I've got all kinds of music, but it's in the cloud.
Well, that's the question. Are you storing it locally for when you're on the plane and you don't have Wi-Fi access, or you're traveling in the car and you don't want to burn data, while you're traveling in the car. This is where the issue is going to come and rear its ugly head. We still have not solved our data problem as far as carriers are concerned. And so limiting us and saying that, all right, no more SD card, we're going to rip it out for cost, usability, whatever the reason is that they chose to do that, they put us at the mercy of the data plan for our phones. And I am sure that the carriers are all for that. But, on the other hand, it is very hard to justify removing the SD card when it's still a big function. It's still a big part of everyday life. I want to be able to store my music locally, and I don't want to have to burn data to listen to it.
Yeah, and it's cheaper putting a 64 gigabyte SD card in there than it is to put a 64 gigabyte, drive like they got.
Well, and you make a good point because you can shop around for a deal on an external 64 gigabyte micro SD card.
Yeah.
With Samsung or anyone else, you're going to be able to their pricing.
Yeah. And thank you, Google, for increasing the Google Play from 20,000 tracks now to 50,000 songs that you can put in the cloud now. Thank you, Google.
Holy moly! Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm with Robert. Not everyone wants to be using up their data plan and are in situations where they have good cell phone coverage and things are fading in and out and buffering. If you have kids and you want to watch, give them the phone and have them watch a movie that you stored on there or whatever, or movies.
Well, Robert's the Cajun hotspot king. I mean, he needs all the data he can get.
But I don't know.
Unlimited data. I am still on unlimited data. If I was on a data plan, it would be a metered data plan. It would be a totally different situation. But even then, I don't try and stream everything down from the cloud. I'm going to store it on my tablet and on my phone locally.
Yeah.
So I need to have the storage capacity.
I have a quick story. My wife, who doesn't know how to manage anything, right, has... No, it turns on her phone, right? So now she has an iPhone, and PhotoStream just, she wore out the limit on PhotoStream on Apple iCloud. So either you pay for more or you do less, or the photos just don't get backed up. So I said, okay, hey, let's switch that around. Let's make sure, let's put it up on Google, right? Let's put everything up on Google. Still to this date, we haven't gotten all the photos back up on Google Plus for her. So, it takes time, and it's just not. It's not. I think an SD card is still important in my life.
It sounds like to me that what you need to do is buy your wife a 128 gigabyte Samsung Galaxy S6
at $999.
No.
No problem. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, the ordinary people that don't understand, the cloud storage and additional fees and data coverage and all that stuff, an SD card is pretty simple, right? It is a simple thing.
Yeah, well, and just a programming note to anyone who is listening or watching on YouTube. There is going to be a programming change in Android Journal. This is like the 5th week in a row that Jeff Zeiss and Robert Taylor have been giving each other sloppy kisses and agreeing with one another. One of them needs to be voted off the show, so just email aj@techandcoffee.info to let us know which one you want to see go, because
let's vote now.
Guys.
Yeah.
You know what? I just have to say that I have not spoke positively of Apple in the last, month, 2 months, whereas my counterpart has definitely,
Yeah, and we've got our first vote in. Goodbye, Jeff. Josh Swafford says, can we cue up the Death March music for Jeff?
Exactly.
Actually, I think he was talking about
Death March. Jeez.
I think he was referring to what you said about your wife not being able to manage anything, which, by the way, this is on tape, and we'll be sending her copies of this from YouTube.
There you go.
Okay.
Tape.
All right, hey, let's go on to the next article.
Yeah. Let's move on, Jeff. Let's save you.
Change the subject quick, Jeff. There you go. Good job.
Hey, guys, just a couple of weeks ago, Samsung acquired this mobile payments company called LoopPay. Pretty interesting technology if you read about it. And listen, even though they only bought it up a couple of weeks ago, they were touting it at Mobile World Congress and how it was going to be integrated in the new Samsung phones. And I think what really makes this cool is that it's compatible. The technology makes it compatible with all the existing swipe machines that are in the world today. And you don't have to have special equipment programmed to use it. In other words, if you're at a location that can swipe a credit card or a bank card, LoopPay on these Samsung phones are going to work. I found this pretty interesting. And I'm just wondering, Robert, I'll start with you first on this one. Is this a threat to Android Pay?
You know what? Anything could be a threat to Android Pay at this point. I mean, it's a non-starter. But, somewhere down the line, we've got to get or recognize that everybody wants a slice of the pie. If it's Apple doing it and Google's doing it, why not Samsung to do it too? Is it a threat? I don't think they're going to put Apple Pay out of business. I don't think that they're going to put Google Wallet out of business. But the truth of the matter is that we're getting into diversified situations here. And while diversifying your portfolio might be a good thing, but giving people this many options to have to choose from might be confusing. I don't think it's going to destroy one, but it's definitely going to confuse things up. And it's, magnetic stripe is universal. It gets right across the world. Well, that technology is riddled with security errors, so we're going to go to, chip and pin, on credit cards. This might be the next iteration for us when it comes to those folks who have Samsung devices, because nobody has taken the lead dramatically one way or the other.
Okay.
When's the last time any of you used your phone to purchase anything? I'm just curious.
I use it all the time.
You do?
I mean, I use it a lot. If they don't have if they don't have the system, I'll just reach and get my Google Pay card, and then it comes instantly on there. And I actually I'm sorry, Robert, but I disagree with you. Working for a bank and all, one of the things I've noticed is you have a variety of different banks and different credit card systems out there anyways. So if you have more of a choice, you're going to find better systems. Some systems are going to offer better interest rates.
But no, George, hang on a second. The thing is that you can choose and pick and choose what credit card you want. When you buy a phone, if you buy an Apple phone, an iPhone, you get Apple Pay. If you buy a Samsung phone, they're going to want you to use LoopPay. It's not like you can say, I want Apple Pay on my Samsung phone, right?
But you can get other payment systems on, say, an Android phone. I mean, I don't know how limited an iPhone is, but even if you get a Samsung phone, you can still put Google Pay on there. So, and you could still use it with the NFC reader and stuff. So
once it's, I'm gonna try to keep my job and disagree with both you guys. Once a paying by phone is the norm, right? Then you're gonna see different agencies want to say things like, just like Internet Explorer, or you have an option for your browser, or things like that. Some regulatory agency is going to come in and say, you get to pick whatever version you want to run, because you can't just do this. So eventually it will get to, government will step in and say you can pick between whatever you want.
So you're saying that we're going to get Apple Pay on a Samsung device at some point?
If I'm Apple, right, it totally makes sense to develop that.
It makes sense, Jeff. It's not going to happen.
Samsung, it makes sense to do my own thing, because I have a market share that's built in. So I get it.
Yeah, but it makes sense. But they're never going to do it. They like to keep their own stuff in house, no matter what.
But
if it makes financial sense, they won't do it. They'd rather kill themselves than.
Well, back to my question, so I can make my point here, and I can understand George may have used his phone, but I doubt very seriously any of the rest of the panel has used their phone to pay for something more than once in the last 3 to 4 or 5 months. And what is this choice of a payment system going to drive your choice for a phone?
No, it's not. But I will have to say that I have used my phone. I use my phone regularly, and my tablet, as a matter of fact, regularly.
Yeah, you go to Mickey D's too much then.
No, it's not Mickey D's. Believe it or not, all the hotels that I have service contracts with, in their employee area, they have Coke machines. All their Coke machines have NFC stuff. So I walk in with my phone, beep, and I buy a Coke while I'm working. Always. Every single facility. Very cool.
All right. Hey, guys, we're not going to see this till the summer. It's coming to America and South Korea. But listen, they just purchased this just a couple of weeks ago, and they've got big plans for it. Sounds like that they're already developing relationships with American Express, Bank of America, Citi, J.P. Morgan Chase, and other companies globally. So let's see what it looks like this summer when they introduce it. I'm sure that there's much more that we'll say about it. I don't even want to get into any kind of security issues, this versus Apple Pay or the coming Android Pay that we'll learn more about, at Google I/O. But we'll talk more about this. But I'm pretty excited about it. I think that Samsung's made a good move with purchasing this company with this technology, and let's see what happens with it. All right, hey guys, we've already been talking about Mobile World Congress. I mean, we talked about the HTC announcements. There were several LG midline phones that were introduced just prior to Mobile World Congress. Looked like pretty nice phones for the money. But one thing that I don't think anybody really expected was this smartwatch from Huawei. Did you guys happen to catch that?
I did not.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a round, very attractive smartwatch. Going to have 2 different band options. I'm expecting it to be a premium price. I don't think this is going to be some Chinese knockoff, for a third of the price of the competition. I think this is going to be a fairly expensive device. And guys, just one more sign of what I've been saying. These Chinese manufacturers, man, they're building nice stuff, and eventually it's all coming to America. Nobody wants to nod your heads.
It's going to come to America, but it's going to have formaldehyde in it. So
or lead.
No, I don't. I'm not. obviously they can do things. Most of the parts are coming from, for all these phones, and they're all, yeah. So obviously China is going to be a big player for all this stuff. So
I want that big Huawei 7-inch phone. Have you seen that?
Yes, I saw that. I saw that. That's not a 7-inch tablet, a 7-inch phone.
Correct.
Yes, I did see that. Okay. Hey, listen. Let's just do this right here, man. There's just been all kinds of news coming out of Mobile World Congress. I don't even want to attempt to name some. Try to capture all the products. Let's just do it this way. Did anybody see any tablets that really caught your eye? Anything new in the tablet line that you just thought, now this is cool, this is unique, or was it just barely evolution and not really anything exciting? Robert, go for it, man.
You know what? I didn't do a single thing with tablets, and I'm actually surprised because I'm a big fan of my tablet. But all the articles that I seem to gravitate to were things on phones and other technologies like, 5G. I really didn't. I saw a couple of announcements, but nothing that had made me stop and read the articles or watch the presentations on. So maybe there just wasn't enough there, or maybe I'm focusing more on phones lately than tablets. Okay. Or maybe it is that tablets are becoming less important, even for me, the big fan of a tablet.
Fair enough. I did see that Sony brought a tablet that I was pretty impressed with. I'm not even going to attempt to give you specs now, but I did see a nice Sony tablet article on it. Hey, Bruce, just anything else that you saw? I'm talking hardware-wise. I would like to get into some of the announcements. Maybe Microsoft and the Google Plus announcement, but hardware-wise, was there anything that you saw that really caught your eye?
Well, you're going to laugh. I don't know if you consider it hardware or not, but I know you joked about the Ford e-bike. I thought that was kind of interesting. Ford evidently has allowed some of their engineers to work on personal projects, like Google allows people to work on personal projects. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So, for short commutes and everything, might be nice, but not in the wintertime in the snow.
I heard that. Hey, listen, I'm a scooter fan, bicycle fan. Hey, I'm even a unicycle fan. And that Ford e-bike definitely caught my attention. Pretty cool looking little bike.
It was cool. It was cool, but there wasn't any price with it, or any stats. It was just like a picture of the bike. It looks like the seat fell, kind of adjusted up and down, and so there wasn't. It was, it looked like one of those little razors on steroids.
It does fold, though.
Yeah, it does fold. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, why do you care about the price? Because you're just going to return it anyway.
Yeah, but I'll return it fully charged.
Hey, George. I'll tell you what. I'll give Jeff a chance on this too. Did you see the little Chinese? What do they call it? The Yi? The GoPro copy?
Xiaomi?
That's Xiaomi is how you say that, Jeff. The Xiaomi Yi. And if I've done the translation right, this thing, if it ever comes to America, it's going to sell for between $60 and $70.
Yeah,
and
64.
It kind of blows that first GoPro Hero right out of the water, just spec-wise. I'm not saying that it does in real life, but spec for spec, it's pretty interesting looking device. Wouldn't you agree, Jeff?
Yeah, no. But funnily, I don't know if that's a real word, but there are there are a lot of like GoPro-like cameras out there, like Pyle, P-Y-L-E, makes them, and some other knockoffs that are in the same kind of price range. I don't know if they're in the same spec range, but hey, competition, is a good thing, and especially if you want to have like 3 or 4 of them, and you want to put them on your motorcycle, you want different angles at the same time. I tell you what, that sounds like it would work really nicely, and it wouldn't cost you an arm and leg to do it, unless you obviously wipe out and you lose your arm and your leg. So, I think, yeah, why not? I personally wouldn't get one. As everyone might know, I did. For Valentine's, my lovely wife got me a GoPro Hero Black, and but I had to return it because the Wi-Fi wasn't working right. But now it is. So I would hate to have to return one of those puppies to China.
Well, hopefully they will be. You'll have distribution centers in the United States if they bring them here.
Do any of you guys have any desire whatsoever for any of these virtual reality devices? HTC showed one, and then Samsung showed theirs.
To be honest with you, Bruce, I think I am more interested in Microsoft's augmented reality than I am these virtual reality devices that I see Samsung and Oculus and others try to push. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Every time I see those things, those headsets sitting out like this, I think of, some Vin Diesel movie where this guy has these round ones like a minion looking into the future and scoping around. It just doesn't look like it would be comfortable or fun. But, not for me.
Now we know what Jeff watches at 3 in the morning when he can't sleep.
This is what I want.
Don't go there, Jeff. Don't go there, Jeff.
All right, hey guys, let's talk about the Google Plus announcement. We've been hearing some rumors about this that they were gonna split off and take their products separately. And at Mobile World Congress, Sundar Pichai announced that they were definitely going to be splitting photos. Google Plus is going to split into photos and streams. It sounds like that at some later point, Hangouts will also be broken out. And this kind of bothered me when I first heard this, but I've been thinking about it, and I really think that you guys feel free to disagree with me, but I'm going to start off with my opinion. I really think that Google Plus isn't going to change. I think that at the end of the day, photos are still going to be a part of Google Plus, and I think that Hangouts will also. But I think the difference is we're actually going to have standalone apps on our devices and maybe our computers that are dedicated strictly to the photos that are now within Google Plus, the streams that are in Google Plus, and eventually Hangouts. There will be a standalone Hangout like there used to be a standalone Google Talk app, okay, strictly for the PC. Jeff, what do you think, man? Am I off base on this?
I hope that you are right. I really, really hope you are right. That Google Plus will still be there, but it's just being renamed into different categories, and it's an all. But they went from an ubiquitous kind of we're going to bring everything into Google Plus, and it's all going to be there, and unification of the operating system and all that stuff, and it'll all be there. Bye bye Picasa. Hello, something else, and so I'll be in Google Plus, and they went through all this trouble to do that, and now if they're going to be breaking it up, there's got to be. I hope that's not the case, And
let me just say this. I just thought of something. Facebook. Yep. Facebook has Pages. It's got a chat client called Messenger. And it's got other stuff, but what's Facebook doing? Those are all standalone apps now. Okay? When you go to Facebook, all that stuff that I just mentioned is still contained within Facebook from a web browser. But on the mobile device, you can download those things as individual apps.
Yeah. I just hope they're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, I really like how they moved everything towards that. And you can see it in one unification kind of app / web browser or whatever. And as a long-term user of it, I'm used to it now. mean, not that I'm resisting change, but I wouldn't want to have to open up this app and this app and this app. I want them all talking together. But we'll see what happens. I'm not a big fan of the announcement.
Hey,
Well,
George.
I'm going to take the opposite stance for just a minute. I'm not a fan of them glomming it all together because I don't think that they did a very good job of putting it all together. I mean, we won't even go into the whole Google Talk, Google Voice thing with the Hangouts. That was a mess. Google Voice wasn't broken before they started, and now they try and merge it into Google Hangouts. It's a mess. It's crap.
Do you know how
Leave it
many
alone.
Hangouts I have to delete weekly and leave because of that crap?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Well,
George, give me your thoughts on this. What do you think, man?
I don't know, because I'm kind of like a little bit with Robert. They spent all this time combining all this stuff and merging departments and throwing everything in the G+, and now they're like slowly but surely going, now that wasn't right. Maybe we should split off photos. I mean, Picasso's always been there. It's kind of merged in, and it's kind of like harder to get the Picasso web app going as much because everything's combined, and you have to go to Google+, go down to photos, all that stuff. So it makes sense that they're splitting some things apart, but yeah, I think they're also going to be integrated into Google+ as its flagship. But I think it's better to keep some of this stuff separate as well, or easier to get to, because you're not going to want to go into Google+ to see all your freaking photos, especially if you're a photographer. You're not going to go there and just separate all your stuff. You're going to be doing a Picasso type thing.
I think that being standalone will help people, promote it, but still yet, a lot of people talk that Google Plus is kind of it's a failed social network, but the people that I know that are on Google Plus are like myself. They're pretty passionate about Google Plus, and I don't know. I just think that as long if they do both, if they make these standalone products that are still integrated the way they are now within Google Plus, and they don't start tearing down Google Plus to do it, I think it's a win-win for both of them, for the people who like Google Plus the way it is, and for people who don't like Google Plus, who maybe might discover all the good things about Google Plus before it's over with, photos being one of them.
Well, all I know is Google itself is always making confusing, statements like this. They're doing stuff, and you get used to it one way. They've got it what you think is fixed, and then all of a sudden as far as they're concerned, it's not fixed, and then they mess it up. So now it works completely different than the way you're used to it, and So I just kind of hope they just try to stay in one direction for at least 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's really fragmented. Google Plus detractors can smell blood in the water right now. You just read all their posts, their blogs. They're predicting, the death of Google Plus and everything. Google took this mall approach. You go to the mall, you got the food court, you got all these different Radio Shack, all these different stores, and so that's the approach they had. You come to Google Plus and you got the Hangouts, you got the photos, and this and so forth. I wouldn't be, it may be that Google is seeing the handwriting on the wall, and they're talking about streams, but that stream may be upstream, and I'm not sure if they're separating these things off. May be a predictor of, what is the shelf life of Google Plus, or what they're going to call streams now. Be interesting to see.
All right, I tell you what, guys, I'm going to leave some articles on the spreadsheet. We'll talk about them next week. Hey guys, really, really quick, who are we? We are Tech and Coffee. We are a Google Plus Hangout. That's probably one day going to be something called Communications from Google, because I think it will be the third product to be broke out of Google Plus. Hey, anyway, at Google Plus, you can find us by searching Tech and Coffee. Look for that TNC logo. Twitter and Facebook, we're Tech and Coffee 1. Hey, but come hang out with us, man. Go to techandcoffee.info. Click on the Hangout button. Read about us. Absolutely, man. We would love to have you join us by bringing your favorite beverage, and let's talk tech. We love talking tech. Hey, bring your tech problem to us. We love solving those tech problems also. Hey, you can catch our podcast on Stitcher Radio, iTunes, and Player FM. Tweet us using the hash Tech and Coffee. Questions, comments, and snide remarks, AJ at techandcoffee.info. Hey, Bruce, what kind of app you got for us this week, my friend?
All right. Well, I know that Brad and Robert have been talking a lot today about the Amazon Fire TV and Amazon Fire Stick. So I've been using the Amazon Fire Stick quite a bit more. My wife and I watched a movie last night on it and really enjoyed the experience. So my app of the week is this Amazon Fire TV remote app. Doesn't matter whether you've got the stick or you've got the Amazon Fire TV, which is kind of the more hockey puck design type thing. This is a really great app, and it allows you to do a number of things. I can show it to you what it looks like on my phone, but let me just kind of start with some of the pictures from the Google Play Store. So you can see this guy's got his phone there in front of his TV. One of the nice things about this is being able to hit that microphone, slide it down, and do voice search. If you've got a Roku, and you know what it's like, especially one of the older Rokus where you have to type in the letters to find your movies. It's really nice to just slide down, say the name of a movie or a TV show, and it just goes right to it. It works really good. So this is kind of what it looks like. You swipe to navigate. It's kind of interesting. It's almost like the if you have a Fire Stick TV remote, you know that that it's got this little circle thing. It's almost kind of like a mouse pad. So you swipe to navigate. So wherever you put your finger on the main surface here, you can go right, left, down, up, and so forth and so on. You can tap anywhere to select once you get it over where you want. That's got the voice search like I mentioned earlier. And then if you swipe up on the bottom of this thing, and you'll see a little arrow right there. If you swipe up, then it'll give you these controls for play, pause, and so forth. And I got to tell you, it worked really, really great. The only thing I will tell you is that if you start a movie or a TV show using, and I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen. If you start a TV show or a movie using the remote that came with the Fire Stick or the Fire TV, and then all of a sudden you bring up your app and to control there, it totally stops what was going on. And it took me a while I had to go back and restart the movie and fast forward there. So, if you're going to use this app, then use it. But don't start something with the remote that came with it and then think you're going to fire this up and be able to go. It doesn't work really good. Now I think that's probably a problem they can fix. But I really like it, and especially like the voice search. So my app of the week is this Android app for Android Fire Stick, Fire TV.
Very, very good, Bruce. Thank you very much. All right, man. George, what do you got for us, man?
I gotta learn to unmute here. I got this. It was a free app the other day on Amazon, and I just started playing with it because I kind of like trains and stuff. It was called Train Yard, and I've just been kind of playing it. And you have to build these trains and connect them and not crash them, and and you can cross-act them. I don't know. It's just been an addictive game. There's not much to it, but it was worth free the other day. And it's very addictive, so you can play it for hours and waste an entire day playing it. So.
Very good. I saw that app and passed on it.
It's not Candy Crush Saga.
Thought it was a train wreck.
It is a train wreck. See, but I keep winning, so I like it if I can keep winning.
All right, train wreck. Hey Jeff, what do you got for us, man?
Well, actually, I do not have an app. I have a tip that I kind of discovered in Google Plus, or since we're talking about Google Plus and photos and things like that. So I was at a winery because I live in Napa and we drink wine sometimes, and we're out in the sun when everyone else is freezing freezing in Tennessee, or they got 4-wheel drive. We don't really need it here because we have sun and wine. So I was just sitting there and had a glass of champagne, and I took like 3 or 4 photos of it, and I expected Google to notice that it's 4 shots exactly the same within 2 seconds of each other. It would put it together as auto awesome, and it didn't. I'm going, I wanted it. I wanted to see the bubbles go up the glass. So did a little search, and I guess you can force only with the Android app auto awesome on any photos, and let me show you how you do that. So first of all, it has to work on Android. Doesn't work on Chrome. Doesn't work in the Chrome browser. So this is probably a nit about breaking photos out from the stream, I guess. So let me get rid of that and go over here. So, oh no, please. Looks like we might not be able to do it. Hold on. It says no signal. Let's see if I plug this back in and it goes back in there. If not, then we are out of luck. Oh, there it is. All right.
Jeff, thanks so much for the tip on forcing Wi-Fi.
Yes, and I think Joey showed this to me at our get together in the mountains.
So you click on photos, and it brings up your photos. And here's some photos that I have. Hopefully, it'll load. And I'll just go to these glasses of champagne. So you click on Auto Awesome at the corner right up here, and then you want to make motion. And you select which ones you want that make sense. So I'm going to select this one, this one, this one, and this one. And then you hit the create button on the right-hand side. Oops, I think I didn't create it. Hold on, let me go back, create.
I believe that line turned into a couch. I'm not sure.
We're looking for new couches.
That is true auto awesome.
So there it is. It turned it into an auto awesome. And because it didn't do it on when I originally did the photographs. So this is how you can do it, and then you can share this like any other photo or GIF that's on your system. So it's a quick and easy way. You have to do it through an Android app. You cannot do it through the browser, but it works. It works quite nicely. So I was happy.
Jeff, very good. I didn't know that. You actually taught me something there. Thank you very much, sir. Robert, what do you got, man?
Well, actually, I was going to do a demo of an application because my wife and I just bought a new car. And it was an app that I had used a while ago called A-Car. And I was kind of excited to see it again. It had been updated. And so I installed it, and I put in the new car information and did an oil change this weekend and filled up the gas in her car and everything, put all the records in, and everything was great. Until 30 minutes before the show, I went to go load up the application, and all my records were gone. The car was gone. The oil change service record was gone. It just completely wiped it out. Now, I had used the A-Car app once before, and I had removed it. And now reinstalling the newer version, I wonder if there's some confusion there. But at this point, I have no app to show you because I have no data to give you. I'm a little bit disappointed in that.
So you were carjacked?
I was app jacked.
That actually sounds worse.
That's terrible. So I'm a little disappointed in that. So I am going to spend another bit of time looking for another app. One of the things that's a very big deal, and this was missing from this app, that was going to be the one thing that I was going to say is a detraction from A-Car. One of the most important things if you have an extended warranty is to have copies of the receipts for all your oil changes, your service records, whatever. I have not been able to find an app yet that would allow me to snap a picture of the receipt. If you go to make a warranty claim on your car and you don't have copies of all your oil change receipts, you can forget it. You're not going to get that car covered under warranty if there's a mechanical problem. So I'm still searching for the perfect one. I thought A-Car was going to be, probably one of the best, even though it doesn't have the ability to do the receipt copies. but then it crashed on me. So now I can't recommend that. I'm going to be looking for another app. If you're looking for an app or if you know of an app that has what we're looking for, or what I'm looking for in a maintenance manual, let us know at aj@techandcoffee.info. I'll be glad to review it. But I'm going to be looking. We'll try again next week.
All right, man. Thank you, Robert. Hey, guys, really quick, this is going to be a real quick demo and give you a little backstory. A few months ago, probably 8-9 months ago, I was looking for a good news app. I'm a news junkie and have been for a few years, and if you ever have a close family member in the Middle East, you will probably become a news junkie yourself. And what have I got here? This is the CNN app. Why have I picked the CNN app? Several months ago, I downloaded this app, and it was crap. Literally, it was crap. Video did nothing but buffer, whether I was on Wi-Fi or a data connection. And I'll be honest with you, looking at the reviews, it sounds like that many people are still having some problems with this particular app. But I downloaded it late last week. I've been using the app, and I'm going to go up here. I can select video and hear some of their shows. Of course, I have synced this show with my Charter cable account. And now I can go watch live TV. Why did that not take? Let's try that again. Watch live TV. And it looks like right now, if I select, here we go. And you probably can't hear that. And now I'm watching live CNN from my phone. Of course, it is tied to my cable account. I have tried this on both data and Wi-Fi, and pretty good connection. So this is the CNN app, and just real quick while I'm talking about it, I have also compared this app to the Fox News app, which I had a lot of problems with. And both of these apps seem to work really, really well, a lot better than they used to when you went to stream video from the site, so forth, etc. So, yeah, if you want to, if you're interested in the news and want to check it out, the CNN app, I would highly recommend it. It seems to have solved a lot of the problems that it used to have. Hey, guys. Anything else left for us to cover on this show? Hey, George, anything cool from the Linux world?
Yes,
Like
System 76 has this nice new Nano system coming out that apparently I have to smuggle into Scotland next time. I don't know. Maybe multiple times. I don't know. I don't know, but I really got to stop playing the train game. System 76 had just announced it today. There's not much specs on it, and there's not even a price point on it yet. But they in their Google Plus stream. Another good thing about Google Plus, that's what I love about it. I can pick things I want to see, like Linux stuff, and I see that right up on my stream. But yeah, so I kind of plussed it, moved it over, and said, yeah, I want one of these. And next thing you know, I got a half a dozen people saying, hey, I want one of these too. And most of them are like, in Scotland.
Okay. Hey, guys, Mobile World Congress, tomorrow's the last day. Any thoughts? I mean, to me, if I'm going to sum it up, I'm going to call it, it was more fluff than innovation this year. Don't get me wrong, I did see some innovation, but not like in years past.
Yeah,
Jeff, your thoughts?
I was just saying I was shocked to see some BlackBerry news come out, because I thought they were, really dead. But maybe, they got a little life back in them a little.
Mind you,
like I
it's
say,
just an announcement. There's no actual device being shown.
well, hey, and listen, the announcements were sliding keyboards, and come on, BlackBerry. I mean, there's a reason why you lost all that market share that you had. You know,
That's like
and you're
that's
still
like me
trying
saying,
to do it
Jeff,
with
I want to make a tablet. Jeff, why don't I make a tablet? I'm going to make a tablet. Am I
Well,
gonna
you know,
do
hey,
it? Probably not.
if Polaroid's gonna make phones, then you should make a tablet, man.
Polaroid makes everything now. Of course, Polaroid was bought out by about 15 years ago by some guy who's now in prison. So, or at least the name was.
All right. Hey, guys, I appreciate it very much. Hey, you guys, head on over to techandcoffee.info. Join the Hangout and hang out with us. You guys have a great week. We'll catch you in 7, man. Peace out, everybody.